Yeah, look, you're right. I actually had a bunch of questions that I wanted to discuss. And apart from that, we'll take your example as well.
Okay.
You can see my, oh, you can't see me. I have not shared screen.
Sir, apart from this question, I have also one more question. So I can ask that now, or maybe later if you have anything else to discuss in this
Yeah, let's do
session.
it later.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope my screen is visible now. Okay, let's take the example that we were discussing right now. So basically, we had int ji equal to 0, right? Something like that. Then we had a for loop, doesn't matter what I less than 10, I plus plus. And inside that, what we were doing, j equal to I plus plus, right? This is what was happening. And at the end, we were just printing out.
Sir, I think it's j equal plus plus I. It's pre-increment.
Okay, it's pretty expressive. Huh?
Yeah. In the for loop, it's post increment and j equal to plus plus I.
Okay, and here we have I and j or j and I. Doesn't matter. We just need the values.
Mm.
Okay. So let's just think about it, how it will go. First, the value of I and j both are 0. So I here, sub j over here. In the first iteration, both are 0. Now, when it goes here, it's still 0 and j equal to plus plus I. So j is still 0. I now becomes 1. Okay. Next loop. Now I becomes 2. J becomes what? 2. Okay. J is still 2. I increments to 3. Then next loop. I becomes 4. J becomes 4. And then since, oh, sorry, we have plus plus I. So we have 3 into messed up somewhere. I becomes 1. J becomes 1. Loop 2 starts. I becomes 3.
Won't I become one in the second loop?
Second loop, I will become 1, you're saying.
Yeah, because it's initialized from zero.
So for initializing to 0, right now, what happens? It goes through, right? The first value of I will still be there, right?
Yeah.
Initially, the plus plus won't work because we're going in the loop. So first value of I is 0,
Hmm.
and then j
And
becomes plus plus I. Okay, so here 1. Okay,
yeah.
this is the first condition. I is 1, j is 1. Cool. Loop 2, I becomes 2, j becomes 3. Then later on, the value of I becomes 3 again, and j is still 3. Then the next loop goes I plus plus, j becomes plus plus I, 5. Now the value of I is 5, j is also 5. Another loop starts, I becomes 6, j becomes plus plus I, 7. Now value of I is 7, this is 7. Okay. You don't need to write this second one, but still. Then again next loop, 8, 9, this is again 9 and 9. Again loop starts, now it becomes 10. Okay. Now it becomes 10. Note. So now since I became 10, right? Since I became 10, I became 10, will it go out of the loop? This condition is while I is less than 10, will it go out of the loop?
Uh, no, because it'll after the next loop it'll check. So at that time it's less than 10. So the loop will go on.
Does it check before or after?
It checks after, no?
It checks after. So that means the last value of I, if I'm printing it out, will be 10, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the misconception here. So let's see. Print, if I print I here, you're saying I'm getting 10 as the last value, right? Let's run this and check. Terminal, I want it on the right hand side. I always forget how to do it. You appear on editor layout. Let's run this. What is new questions? Let's see. Percentage returned out. Fine. Okay, we did not have a backslash in it. So, are you seeing what is happening? The last value that we are getting is 9, not 10. So, does it check afterwards or before that? Hello.
Okay. So it checks before executing.
So, basically, this executes, then it checks. So, the last value that gets printed out is whatever is this condition getting satisfied. Right? Since I is less than 9, so less than 10,
Hmm.
9 gets printed out. When it becomes 10, then it exits out of the loop. Is that clear? When I becomes 10, it exits out of the for loop. Okay. So that means now we go back to our previous example. So this was here, this was here. Okay. Comment that out. So now that I has become 10, does it exit out of the loop here? It does, right? It exits out of the loop when I is 10. So the final value of I is now 10 because there is no increment in all that is happening. And the final value of j is whatever was behind. So 10 and 9. Okay, let me run that and check. Mhm. If I see 10 and is that clear? That is why you were getting confused because this checking happens. So I gets incremented, I becomes 10, and then the checking happens. And since that inside the check, the condition is false, it will exit out of it. That means I equal to 10 will not get inside the for. Okay, but the value of I still changes. I still gets incremented, but it does not go inside the. That is why this j equal to I plus. So this does not happen. Is that clear? I am audible, right? Hello? Give me a thumbs
Uh,
up if
y-
I.
y-
Oh, yes, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, my network is a little bad today, so I might ask you a little more about that. Okay, so let's go over some of the other questions that I had, and be prepared with the theory as well. So in week one, two, and so on, there is a lot of theory as well. So be prepared with that. Right now, we'll not be discussing any theory questions because that is for you to read and then understand. Okay, so here we have another question. A pretty simple question. We have float a equal to a certain value, 5.75, and then we are saying int b. Since the data type here is int b equal to a, what will be the value of b at the end? We have used a float value and we are setting it to b equal to a. Any idea what would be the value of b? Yes. Okay. So that means when we are converting this float into an integer, the value that was inside the dot decimal, it gets truncated. Only the integer part remains. Okay. That is an important point to understand. It does not round off and such. It just truncates the other. So removes the point and then takes the integer part. Okay. And this we are getting a 5. I hope this is clear. Pretty simple. Okay. So next up we have certain values. A is 8, B is 4, C is 2. And we are saying result equal to A minus B by C. The important question over here is what will happen first, A minus B or B by C? What will happen first?
B minus C, B by C will first happen, then will minus A.
Okay. So B by C happens because of what? What is this called? Why is this?
Basically, we are executing it from right to left.
That is not right. So you are saying
It
if I had B here, we have a minus A over here. You are saying C minus A will happen first.
No. Basically, it's because of the operation that that's going to be first based on the priority.
Yes. Exactly. So that is called precedence. What we do is this thing. So there's a list of precedence. Important thing to note over here is division multiplication happens first, and then the addition subtraction. They have lower precedence. So whenever we have a conflict between the addition, subtraction, multiplication, other operators, order of precedence happens. So that means we have in precedence multiplication is and division is on the top side and this addition subtraction on the lower side. That means this will happen first. Okay. So this is pretty simple. 4 by 2, 2 and plus 8. So 10. Okay, let me modify this question. What are we getting? B by C is 2. Oh, this is minus. Okay. So 8 minus 2. I thought it was plus. Okay. What if I add a plus plus A over here? I don't know the bracket. Let's have a plus plus A over here. What will happen first?
the division will happen first. Then it'll do A minus whatever the result plus A.
Okay. So here it does not make that much sense. Let's change this a little. So doesn't matter what the order was. Here it was giving the same output. What if I add a plus plus over here? Plus plus over here. Now tell me.
It will increment and then do the division.
That's it. It will increment because the increment operator has a higher precedence. Okay. So all the unary operators have a higher precedence, and then we do multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and exponent is not there. So doesn't matter. You can have a list somewhere. You can search it. This precedence list.
So the exponent we have to, if we have to do it, we have to multiply it by the same number. No, there is no.
Yes, there is no direct exponent in C.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see brackets are there in the higher precedence. Of course, bracket will be there, and then we also have this on the higher end side, the increment decrement operators. All right.
So will post increment take higher precedence than pre increment?
They basically have the same. Why would that matter? Would that matter? Let's take an example. I don't think that matters. So if I have a plus plus over here, it does not make sense. Acha, here, I mean, we can't do a post and pre on the same side, but let's have something like plus plus a plus b minus minus. Okay, does it matter here if the increment happens first or not? Because the post increment will means only that after the operation happens, then we increment the b or change the b. So if we go by the precedence, says post and pre. Okay, yeah. So it definitely says post has a higher precedence. So this is level one, highest increment, highest precedence. Then we have the prefix increment. Okay, so postfix has a higher precedence than prefix increment, and so on. So these things you don't have to know much. Only post pre bracket has the highest. Not and all we have not covered yet. And then comes up the multiplication division models. These are the same precedence, then addition subtraction, and then it does not matter for us at this point. Okay, is that clear? The precedence rules. Any doubt on this?
No, sir.
No. So just be careful. If they have the same precedence, it will execute from left to right. Mostly, some have right to left also, like the equal to. Okay. So here we have the continuous statement. Okay, so we are here. What will be the output that is being asked? Again, initialize I with 0. So the initial value of I will be 0. Okay. So let's go over what will be printed. First, the value of I is 0. It goes down, I equal to 2. That statement is false. So it will not go in this condition. It will directly print. So the first printout will be 0. Okay. Then next printout, I becomes plus plus. Again, if condition does not occur, now prints 1. Then again I plus plus. Now I equal to 2. What happens now? Does it get printed? What is the meaning of this continuous statement. It means that whenever you encounter this statement, skip the current iteration. So any line that are after this continuous statement gets skipped, and directly we jump to the next iteration. That means the this print statement does not get executed. So 2 does not get executed. Then 3 will execute, 4 will execute. Again, will 5 execute? Anyone? Will 5 execute or not? Will 5 go
Uh,
inside the loop?
no, 5 won't get executed.
Okay. 5 does not get executed, and then we return. This will be our final output. But you have to note, since we have defined I over here, the value of I would be 5 afterwards. If I print I in the line next, yahan, if I print I, then I will get 5. But inside the loop, it does not. Okay. So you can see 0, 1, 3, 4. All right. Any doubts? So questions
So
would be, uh,
for the
go ahead.
continue that thing, if is it only for the for loop, or can it be also executed in the if condition? Like if you put those curly braces, and like if you want to skip, if it is a certain value, can you put the continue for the if condition also?
To be honest, I've never tried that. So let's try it out. Why not? Because this continuous statement is specifically for the loops. We skip to the next iteration. Let's try if there is no loop. Let's see what happens. So this is a continuous statement may only be used within a loop. So it should give an error. Right now, I'm in the VS code itself, so that is only telling me it is an error. But let me try to compile and run. Let's see what happens. So it says cannot. It's an error. It should be within a loop. That answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other thing? Okay. So what I was saying that questions will be easy in the quiz because there's a not a lot of things that we have covered. There is only conditionals, if statement, else statement, for loops, while loops, these things only. Functions also we have not covered. So questions would be easy, but expect a mixed match of multiple things together in one question, and also theory questions. Be thorough with the theory questions as well, because week 1, 2, 3 had a lot of theory as well. So be thorough with that also. Okay. Here we have A5, B10. If A greater than C, this is true. If B less than 10, this is false. That means it goes to the else block. Pretty simple. Conditionals, nested conditionals. First it goes here. If it goes inside that, then it will check whatever is inside the nested conditional. Okay. Uh, got it? So let me compile that and run. We get a Y. Okay. See, now we have a little bit more coming up. We have A equal to 0, B equal to 5. And inside that, we are saying A and B. You know what this does, right? And. This is if this condition is true and this condition is true, if both the conditions are true, then only execute. Otherwise, don't. So what happens here? A and B. Is this condition true or false?
False.
This is false. So this will not print. And what will be the value of B over here?
6.
6. Any other? Does anyone think it will be 5? Ishar, what is your opinion? It should be 6 or 5. Okay. So
B.
basically, this is an example of short circuiting. What that means, if there is a zero, if there is a false here, it will not execute further. What do I mean? Is A zero or not? A is zero, right? Okay, this might not be an example. Let me execute and run. Here we are getting 5. Why do you think this happens?
Because after and it is not getting executed because a is already 0, and if we do 0 and something, it will always give 0. So at the point of and, there will be a short circuit and b plus plus will not be executed.
Exactly. So my programming language says if there is a zero and something, that means the output will always be zero, right? No matter what. No matter how many I have changed here, there is a or over here, anything. Does not matter what it is. Since there is a zero here, that means I get a false value. That means anything that I chain afterwards will give me a false value. So why do you even evaluate after that? That's what it is asking. Why should I even evaluate after that? That means since I'm getting a zero over here, zero and anything, it will always give a zero. So anything after I get a zero in the and will not get evaluated. Okay, understood. So if I give an example like this, so suppose there's a plus plus a. That means it will be plus before the and state. And now b plus plus. Now just inside if will get printed and b will become 6. Okay. Inside f and b becomes 6. What if I have a 0 over here and a or b plus plus? What do you think will happen? Will this a plus plus take place?
Yes, sir.
A plus plus will take place because since we are evaluating a plus plus, this value is still 1. So now it will check and 0, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now this statement is now false. This whole thing is now false. So will it evaluate the next line, b plus plus?
Yes, because there is an or operator.
Mhm. Are you sure? Okay, let's run. Yes. We get a, so this inside anyways goes. Okay. There is a or operator over here. So we have a 6 gets printed. Remember how the operators were? This and or. These operators go from left to right or right to left. Which gets evaluated first? This is an important question, right? Because this and this will give 0. or this is true, right? Same thing if I do. So this will get evaluated from left to right. Okay, this gives me 0 or b plus plus. Now if I say and here, now will the b get evaluated?
No, sir, because it will go from left to right, and
Yes.
double plus a and 0 will give false, so it will not get executed.
Yes. Now this gives me false, and false and anything will not get evaluated. Okay, so this is short circuiting. Any doubts on this? Let's run this and then again confirm. Yes, we are getting a 5. Okay, any doubts on this? Okay, so this is all I had to cover. If you have any doubts, you can share your screen and ask the questions. Mani, you had a question, right? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Yeah. Tushar, do you have any questions?
No, sir, I don't have any question.
Okay. I think Mani had some questions. Maybe he's offline now. Let's wait if he comes back. So I think this quiz would be very easy for you, degree level people, because this is just
Yeah,
for loop, if else. That's it.
yes, sir.
Not even pointers. Only so you have done C before?
No, not before, sir. First time.
Okay. So programming logic should be fine for you.
Yes, sir.
Also go
Basically,
through with the story.
yeah,
Hmm.
this C comes in the
Story is
first
something
year for
new.
everyone.
Yes. Theory may you have these things like memory locations, how do you manage that? Not memory locations, the registry things. The registry things are basically the same as normal uh, putting values in a variable, but just disguised as memory locations and addition subtraction. That is also pretty simple. Other than that, you will get story questions on the language itself. So conversion questions like from decimal to octal, those kinds of things, and
Yeah.
other computation questions and so on. Okay, I think if you don't have any doubts, I'll wait for a few minutes. If you don't have any doubts, we'll wait.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead. You had a doubt.
Yes, sir.
And
So,
how should I pronounce your name?
Sashtik.
Ashvik. Go ahead. Share your screen. Let's see.
So, my other doubt was My screen is visible.
Not yet. Can you share again?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it's visible now. Yes, but you're muted. Okay, so the question itself says ij is there. We have initialized I with 10,000, j with 1. And the exit condition, the condition is I should be greater than 0. When we are saying I equal to I divided by j, and j we are increasing to the power of 10, multiplying by 10. So right now j is 1, 1, then 10, and then 100, and so on. Okay, at the end, what will be the output? Okay, that is what you're saying, right? So in the first iteration, I will be 10,000. First, you're printing data. J will be 1 and then 1,000. That's the first thing that you did wrong. Right? The first iteration, the increment does not happen. The right side does not happen yet on the wheel. So the first one would be 1, J is 1, and I is 10,000. Is that okay?
No, wait. So this j into 10 does not happen in the first loop.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
First loop is just initialization and it goes through. So basically, it initializes the first thing, then checks the condition, and then it goes through the loop. The step does not happen there. And then it is simple again. J will gain 1 0. I will lose 1 0. Oh, not just lose 1 0. It will lose the zeros according to the value of J. 1 10,000. Then J becomes 10. And then I becomes equal to I divided by J. So this is again one more thing, important thing, the precedence over here. See the step counter. I by I equal to I divided by J. That is one thing. I into equal to 10. So which will happen first? Will J be incremented first or I? What operation would happen first?
I happen first. I divide by j, then j into 10.
If we go back to the precedence that we were talking about, the comma operator, what are we doing here over here? We mostly are caring about the comma, right? Comma and the star equal to, correct? So whenever we are having a comma operator, we have the okay. So let's go over it. So we have the comma operator itself goes from left to right. Okay, that is fine. This bitwise shift happens from modulus and bitwise from right to left. Okay, so if we go by the j equal to this thing, hello, yeah. So even I got confused a little bit. Yes, so you're right. J I, this divided by J, this will happen first. Wait a minute. Because in the comma operator, what happens? Comma is also operator, right? First things first. Hmm. Okay.
Uh,
J equal to 10 will happen, and then I by J. That is fine. So basically, I becomes whatever is the value of previous J, not the current the iteration J, whatever is the value of previous.
yeah, so it happens from left to right, no? So it will go like that.
But the divide by equal to operator would happen first. So divide by operator.
Yeah, so in the first loop, J is 1 and I is 10,000. So it will be 10,000 divided by 1. Then J gets multiplied by 10.
Yes, correct. Okay. So then
Okay.
J gets multiplied by 10. Next order would happen.
So,
I divided by J. So 1 0 would go.
but like when the print statement happens, like in the first loop, won't it take the
Yes.
value of J that has been multiplied?
First loop. First loop you're talking about.
Yeah.
First is just without that increment happening at all. First is directly I value of I, value of J. That's it. 10,000 and 1. That's it. In the second iteration, only the step counter takes place.
Oh. So so that is also the same for that previous question as well. It's plus plus I. So the
Yes.
first loop it does not change. Only on the second loop it gets updated. The
Yes.
post increment.
That's
If
just,
it's
yes.
if
Just no, it does not matter post or pre. That is a different thing. See what happens when we are giving an initial value. So I equal to 10. Suppose we are giving I equal to 0. So I equal to 0 also goes into the loop, right?
hmm,
If we just directly have a plus plus, if we directly add up increment there, then I equal to 0 would never go into the loop. It will directly go from I equal to 1. But the starting value, the initial value, goes through, then only the increment, decrement, or whatever operation that we have in the step counter that takes place.
so it
Same thing here.
so that happens regardless of post increment or pre increment. Only on the second loop it gets updated.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
This is scroll down, 1, 10,000, then 10, 10,000. So the second one would be the answer, right? 10, 10,000, then 100.
Yeah, this is the answer.
Yes, correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other thing?
Uh, think this one, but
So this
yeah,
is again an example of what? Let's see. Does it short circuit or not? We have to understand here.
yeah, you just explained it. So this one is failed. So this one will not get executed. So the value of C will not be updated.
So in the second line, we have a plus plus a plus a would increment, and we have a plus plus b that is 0. That
Hmm.
means a plus plus c will increment.
So this will be the value of B will be updated, but C will not execute because this condition is false.
Right.
Then I think that's it.
We'll take the leave. All the best for your exams.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Sir, one more thing I wanted to ask, like, there were some questions regarding like